Hello, Judith Hanson here. So what's self-hypnosis? Well, it is what it says on the tin, really. It is putting yourself into a hypnotic state. Is that even possible? Well, yeah, actually it is. When I started doing all the training that I've done in order to be able to work with clients, one of the very first things I did was just to find out about hypnosis was to go on a self-hypnosis course. So I went on a weekend self-hypnosis course, and we were all very skeptical, and we all kept saying, are we really putting ourselves, is this absolutely happening? And on the final afternoon, on the Sunday afternoon, we were offered the opportunity to do some tests. And one of the tests, which is one that subsequently I learnt how to do by putting somebody else into hypnosis and doing this, which was a bit scary, is to actually put yourself into hypnosis, to anaesthetize your arm, to tell your body that it's not going to bleed. And then the guy who was training us actually came along and put a needle, pinched up a bit of flesh on our arm and put a needle through it. And A, we didn't feel it, and B, we didn't bleed. Now, there were other tests as well, which I'll share with you at some point, but that was a real convincer for me, the fact that I was able to do this. So this state, which felt to me like a deep state of relaxation, but I don't know what I expected hypnosis to be like, but I wasn't sure this was it. But actually the fact that I could have somebody pierce my arm with a needle and A, not feel it, and B, not bleed was the thing that convinced me that I actually was putting people putting myself into hypnosis. So I chose to go back and train with the same guy when I decided to become a clinical hypnotherapist and a cognitive behavioural hypnotherapist. So what do I use self-hypnosis for? Number one, I use it for relaxation. And if you're suffering from any kind of stress or overwhelm or anxiety, particularly in the current circumstances, it's important to be able to relax, to be able to switch off. And you can do this with self-hypnosis. I also find it an excellent way of dealing with stuff that's happening. Now, I, like everybody else, have been struggling during lockdown number 3. I wasn't so bad in 2, and yeah, I was rather different in 1, but this time round I think we're all just a bit tired of it all. And yeah, I sometimes have to employ an awful lot of tools and techniques to get my mental and emotional state where I want it to be. But I always start with relaxation. I always start with relaxing myself so that I can then do some further work. And sometimes it is just about how do I cope with what's going on with me at the moment. So at the moment, it can be frustration about not being able to be with family or friends, or the impact that COVID's having on my business. Whatever it is, I will go in and I will either just ponder internally, or more frequently, I will ask myself a question. Okay, so this has happened. This is happening. How do I deal with it? What should I do? And sometimes I get the answer during that session of hypnosis, and sometimes it'll come to me later when suddenly something will pop up from my subconscious mind, and I'll think, oh, where did that come from? And then I'll think, oh, that's the answer to the question that I asked. So not just for now during lockdown and while COVID is still rampaging around the country, but if anything happens that disturbs me or upsets me, or I don't know how to respond to, then I will communicate with myself while in hypnosis. So you can use it for anything from just straight relaxation through using specific techniques in hypnosis to deal with particular thoughts or feelings, or just as a general inquiry with yourself or whatever higher power you believe in. It's very flexible. It's something you can learn to do, and it's something that's totally under your control. Now, it is a learnable skill. It's very much like driving a car, or any other skill that you learn. You need to practice. So I or other people can teach you how to put yourself into hypnosis, but it's then down to you to learn how to do it. And I'm going to be running some free sessions for anybody that is interested in learning this tool, this technique, that, as I say, can help you do anything from just relaxing, just switching off and forgetting about everything for a brief period of time, right the way through to, asking yourself how to deal with particular situations. For me, it's more about getting in touch with my instincts, I think. But occasionally I feel the answer might come from elsewhere. But it depends on your belief system. Whatever your belief system is, it will work with it. It's almost a blank sheet of paper, if you like. So, and it's very, the process is very simple, because hypnosis itself is a natural state. It is something that we go into on a regular, i.e. daily basis. The example that's always given, because it's the one that pretty much all of us have experienced if we drive, is that time when you're driving a journey you know well, or a boring journey, where you suddenly realise that apparently you've been driving safely and effectively, but you have no memory of the last 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes. And your mind has taken itself off into what is effectively a hypnotic state, because our driving, because we've practiced it so much, is now totally automatic. Even all of the safety stuff and making sure you don't go over roundabouts or hit pedestrians, all of that stuff is automated. So our mind is free to do its own thing, and so it will go off and do its own thing. And that effectively is the hypnotic state. So our mind knows how to do it. We just need to learn a process which enables us to access that state deliberately, not just when our mind feels like doing it. So the process is very simple. It just needs practice. But then you have a tool for life, and certainly a tool for the moment. I would definitely recommend that everybody learn self-hypnosis. I use it, I teach it to every single client unless they expressly reject it. I teach it to every client. They use it, as I say, in the ways that I've described, and often to practice and use techniques that I've taught them. So, for instance, if you're struggling with sleep, as a lot of us are, it is a way of enabling your mind to switch off and allow you to go to sleep or to go back to sleep. If you're anxious or worried or overwhelmed, it helps with that as well. There are techniques that you can do in self-hypnosis to help with that. So, keep a lookout for details of when I'll be running these free sessions, and come along. What have you got to lose? Try it out. If it's not for you, it's not for you, and that's fine. But it could be really, really useful as we go through this. Hopefully, I'm not saying that this virus is going to go away, but hopefully this is the end of the really bad bit as we start rolling out vaccinations, and as we move into spring and summer. Hopefully, even if we have to take action next year, next winter, it's not going to be as bad as this. So just something to get you through these next couple of months, I think, which are going to be tough for all of us. So I hope to see you on one of my free sessions, and back here with another video sometime soon. And until then, as always, take care and stay safe.